Hey, we're running. We're recording, baby.
Okay, guys, I'm going to start adding to this. I'm going to, again, go in with a little thicker, again, burnt sienna and a little more ultramarine blue. I'm getting a little bit thicker. And I'm actually going to punch up these darks a little bit more. Okay, I actually see a reflection of this cup onto the I guess it's some sort of vase. It's not a vase, I guess, what would you call it?
It's a teapot.
Coffee pot? Okay.
That's
Teapot.
a
Samovar.
Turkish coffee.
How about a samovar?
A what?
Samovar?
Russian
Probably
tea.
Okay, every place I think I see a dark, I'm actually putting a little heavier, again, I'm not cutting the paint as much with medium, I'm just making the paint a little bit thicker, and I'm mixing burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, and I'm basically, again, the underpainting is almost already dry because I put it in so thin to start with. And again, I'm actually just going to punch up some of these darks. Remember, I'm working dark to light.
Is that completely the blue?
No, I'm just sort of sloppily mixing burnt sienna with blue, and I'm adding probably more blue to make it even darker. See, if I really scratch it out, it gets thin again.
Okay.
So I'm actually adding a little more blue than I am sienna. So it's more towards the cooler side of the blue side than it is towards the sienna side. And I'm just trying to establish, I'm building up the value pattern by establishing some of the darks. Any place I see a dark, I'm adding it in a little bit. Again, there's a dark under this spout. Again, I'm going to hit the dark side on everything. There's a dark, I see a dark here, I see a dark under this.
Would you almost say that this is a bit of an exaggeration of the darks?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I am going to basically, when I overpaint this later on, I can always knock the darks down, okay? Like a lot of times when we work with color, I put bright color, intense color on initially, because I can always dull it down. Dulling things down, dulling bright colors down is never a problem. Dulling darks down, really dark darks is never a problem. You want to get them really dark and get them really dark initially, and then keep it dark and thin initially, and then you could always dull them down eventually. And like I said, we're going to overpaint this anyway. Okay, so all right, let me go a step further. I'm going to clean my brush. I could even take this a little bit darker. Let me get a little more ultramarine blue. Now I could use burnt sienna or I could use burnt umber. Burnt umber is sort of a darker version of burnt sienna. So I'm going to use a little bit burnt umber. Okay, so I can make it actually really, see how dark is that? I just knocked off a step. Instead of using thicker burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, I used a little bit of burnt umber, which is a more opaque, darker brown. And a little bit of ultramarine blue. And that's just to knock this back a little bit. Okay, and there's a real dark right here. There's a real dark under the lip of the goblet. Real dark right there. There's a real dark right there. There's a real dark under the handle. Right there. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to clean the brush again. Now, I'm going to put in a real dark background, but I decided let me show you how I do that. Again, I'm just going to put in a little bit of it and work it up later on. I'm going to use some burnt umber and some ultramarine blue. You can use, again, burnt sienna and ultramarine blue if you want. I'm just going to actually darken it on the light side. And you can actually see, because the background is going to be fairly dark, so I can actually refine some of my shapes a little bit. And I'm not going to do the whole background, I'm just going to paint in one side. I'm going to start on, again, I'll start darkening it on the light side.
That's burnt umber and ultramarine blue.
You don't have to use burnt umber, you can use burnt sienna if you want, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I just want to get it dark in here, so, you see the minute I put that dark in on the light side, see how it punches the light side out?
Yeah.
And I could just keep doing that.
And you're correcting some of the lines on there, right?
Yeah, I'm actually correcting some of the shapes when I'm doing this. And eventually, see, I don't care if I overlap this a little bit, because eventually I'm going to overpaint it. And I actually want some of the edges, by overlapping, I can actually soften the edges later on, because I can actually mix some of the background into the actual painting, which is actually a good thing. And I'm using the same colors. I keep using burnt sienna and burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, or burnt umber and burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. So I'm essentially not really moving from basically a brown mixed with a blue for all of this, okay? You see, I could actually put more blue in and even darken it more. You can see how dark I can get it. But I'm only gonna darken the lights initially, and then eventually I'll fill this all in here. Okay, let me just go a step further. And I'm gonna just start establishing the tablecloth, which is an ultramarine blue. I'm gonna really thin this down. So I'm really thinning this down. I just want to get some ultramarine blue on the tablecloth so you get some idea. I'm going to just, again, use that to establish some of the objects and just get this color in. Because it's one of the three colors we've been using. And again, I'm really thinning it down.
Did you just kind of purposely choose that cloth to, because
Yes.
it is an ultra? Okay.
Yes. Everything I chose in this still life setup was intentional.
It was intentional.
So that you guys could learn how to do the underpainting just using a few colors. Let me just do it a little bit more, and then I'll let you guys work on this. See, I'm really mixing this with a lot of medium. Well, in this case, it's turpenoid or water. If it's acrylic,
Now you said that ultramarine blue doesn't cover well.
well, you can actually
So-
see it's transparent. You see?
So if you got it over the stem of the glass,
Yeah,
it
it doesn't
wouldn't
matter.
It doesn't
Doesn't
matter.
No, I mean, look,
Oh.
I mean, I can be sloppy about this. It doesn't matter.
But you're doing it very lightly,
Yeah, I'm thinning it way down.
way thin, yeah.
I mean, I could cover everything with it. I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's the beauty of this technique. You can be as sloppy as you want at this stage. It doesn't matter. I mean, you're just trying to establish the value and the composition and the drawing pattern at this stage.
Awesome.
Okay, cut it.